Good evening, everyone. Buonasera, Erev Tov. I'm Dominic Lucarelli. Probably about half of you don't know who I am. It's been a long time since I've seen a lot of you, and thanks for coming. Thanks to Dom and Rebecca for asking me to do this, for trusting me with this honor. I'm going to do the best I can. Frank wanted to do it. He was not able to. He has a sore throat, so I filled in. I'm not a priest, I'm not a rabbi, I'm a lawyer, just like Dom, one of many Doms in our family, including his dad in the front row there. When I told Aunt Frances, Dom's grandmother, that I was going to be doing the wedding, Aunt Frances' reaction was priceless. She screamed on the phone. We had a nice 15-minute conversation when she was home alone. She said, "You can't be a priest?" And I said, "Why not, Aunt Fran?" She goes, "Because when you were younger, you can't be a priest because of what you did when you were younger." And I said, "I didn't do anything wrong when I was younger." Anyway, and Fran, I told you, didn't I? I've only met Rebecca once or twice, only for 15 minutes or an hour. Met her again last night, but before last night I wasn't sure if I was going to get to know anything about her. I had asked Dom, which Dom messed up according to Rebecca. They were supposed to get on the phone with me a couple of times on a Saturday to spend a little bit of time to get to know each other so I could get to know her. Dom, of course, I know. But I did talk to Gina, Dom's mom. Gina said some very nice things. First of all, she said, "We really love her," which is her on Long Island. So we've learned since then that Rebecca is very family-oriented. We're hoping for a honeymoon baby. I understand that you want to have a lot of kids. She's very considerate, and according to Gina, she does her thank yous, which I've never had to say that, but that's probably a very considerate thing to do thank yous. She's very outgoing. She makes friends easily, even with a lot of Dom's friends. And his side of the family, she was very kind to ignore some of the faults in Dom's friends. She's very outgoing. She's very crafty. She's smart. She loves to travel. One of the things I learned just recently, probably the thing that made me the happiest, is that she now works for the Lavazza Coffee Company. So at least on our side of the family, espresso is very important to us. So we're all expecting some free espresso. Just a little bit about Dom. You ready, Dom? Dom, as everyone knows, is a man of few words. In fact, his mom says he's almost secretive. I'm not sure what she meant by that, but we're all happy that we're finally here at your wedding. We waited a long time. What I know about Dom, and I know about most of the Dominics in our family, which there are a lot of, is that he was a major pain in the butt when he was younger, as most of us were. We all turned out okay. Dom is a gentleman through and through. He is one of the classiest people I know. I really got to know him. I knew him when he was younger, but when we're kids, we really don't get to know the real person until he grows up. And he was in law school. He went to law school in Naples at the school near our home, and he spent a lot of time at my mom's house. And Dom, again, was just a gentleman, a great kid, just a wonderful person to be around, always respectful. Aside from him being a great guy, right, and having those devilishly good looks and that big smile, we know that he's got that perfect smile. I'm sure that we could all agree today that Dom has never been happier until he met Rebecca. And I can say that with all sincerity. And I've seen Dom, saw him many times when he was studying. He always comported himself very nice, whether it was with schoolwork, with family, even when he was stressed out. But he's never been as happy as he's been for the last 2.5 years, and I'm sure today. Do you need to go again, Dom? You good? You're all right. Thank you, Rebecca, for that, for doing this for Dom. All right. So this is sort of like a fairy tale wedding, right? We've got a beautiful bride. We've got a handsome groom. My wife and Ed Smith wanted me to start the ceremony by saying something about marriage, but I'm not going to do that. Marriage, Dom, is the way I'm going to say it. My girls, I've got 4 kids. And my two girls are avid readers. When we were younger, we read to all the kids, but the girls kind of took the ball and ran, and they read all the time. Jana, our youngest, her favorite story, one of her favorite stories, was the Velveteen Rabbit. I'm not going to read the whole story to you, but there's some really beautiful lessons to be learned from that story there. And I'm going to summarize it. It's basically a story about a little girl, but there's a bedroom in this house where all these animals, these stuffed animals, are there. And those animals at some point in the story start talking to each other. Okay, and the rabbit is talking to the horse. And the rabbit is talking to the horse about being real and about love. The rabbit asks the horse, what is real? What's real today is Dom's getting married finally, after 38 years. The horse says, it's a thing that happens to you. When a person loves you for a long, long time, then you become real. And my wife liked this, and I'm going to get a little choked up because my wife's sitting in the front row there, and I get choked up when we talk about love. But the rabbit asks if real happens all at once. The horse explains, it doesn't happen all at once. You become. It takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily or have sharp edges or who have to be carefully kept. The horse continues to explain. Generally, by the time you're real, most of your hair has been loved off. We're talking about stuffed animals, right? Your eyes drop off, right? Stuffed animals, again, you may lose an eye here or there. You get loose in the joints. We can all relate to that. And basically you get very shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you're real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand. Being real to stuffed animals and being in love are one and the same. It's just like a fairy tale. We're going to get to the vows. You guys are already holding hands, face each other. And this is the exchange of vows. Rebecca, do you take this man to be your husband?
I do.
Repeat after me, Rebecca. Dom, I promise to cherish you always.
Dom, I promise to cherish you always.
To honor and love you.
To honor and love you.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
In poverty and in wealth.
In poverty and in wealth.
And to be true to you.
And to be true to you.
In all things.
In all things.
Until death alone shall part us.
Until death alone shall part us.
Dom, do you take this woman to be your bride?
I do.
Repeat after me. Becca, I promise to cherish you always.
Becca, I promise to cherish you always.
To honor and love you.
To honor and love you.
In sickness and in health.
In sickness and in health.
In poverty and in wealth.
In poverty and in wealth.
And to be true to you in all things until death alone shall part us.
And to be true to you in all things until death alone shall part us.
Okay. Mike, do you have the ring for Rebecca? Okay, Rebecca, you can put the ring on Dom's finger. And there are all sorts of nice things about rings that I've said, and this is not my first wedding, despite what Aunt Fran thinks. There are a lot of nice things. I'm not seeing the ring until today. I mean, there's stories about gold and the circle, and it's a union joined at two ends. It's a never-ending circle. It represents infinity. But most precious metals were created under crazy circumstances. Most precious metals, gold, platinum, silver. I don't know what your ring is made of. One of the places where where a lot of these precious metals are created are when two stars collide, and that's sort of what's happening when two people get together. There's a big explosion, and throughout the universe, a lot of these precious metals fly through the universe and land sometimes on Earth and get buried over thousands and thousands of years. All right, let me get to the... Rebecca, having placed the ring on Dom's finger, I want you to repeat after me. Dom, I give you this ring as a sign of my love.
Dom, I give you this ring as a sign of my love.
with the pledge to love you today, tomorrow, always, and forever.
With the pledge to love you today, tomorrow, always, and forever.
Don, would you place the ring on Rebecca's finger? And repeat after me. Guys, hold hands. Rebecca, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
Rebecca, I give you this ring as a symbol of my love.
With the pledge to love you today, tomorrow, always, and forever.
With the pledge to love you today, tomorrow, always, and forever.
Okay, we have I'm going to do this little pronouncement, and before they kiss, I'm going to step aside so I don't ruin their pictures, and we'll all step aside. But afterwards, I know sometimes in Italian weddings, everyone comes to the front to be the first to congratulate. Let's sit tight because there are a couple of traditional things that we're going to do. Okay, one Italian that I sort of made up, and one of the Hebrew. Before these witnesses, you have pledged to be joined in marriage. You have now sealed this pledge with your wedding rings. By the authority vested in me, and con tutti auguri, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Dom, you may kiss your bride. You may want to do it again because I was there. Go ahead, do it again. One more time.
Oh, one more time.
I didn't get out of the way fast enough. Okay. We've got a couple of traditions, okay, and I've witnessed them. I've done Jewish Italian weddings before. There's the breaking of the glass ceremony, which that symbolizes, and I learned this also, that they did this in Italy over 150 years ago. And there's a great story about Angelina Giordano, which I'm not going to say right now, but I got you there, didn't I? What I've done, I've got a glass, and I've got this glass bottle. In Italy, they would break a bottle if they had money. They'd break an empty wine bottle. We're not going to break this one because I did have your parents. I'm going to have Aunt Fran be the last one to write something on there, even if it's just her name. I'm going to walk over and I'm going to have Aunt Fran bless this bottle. The other grandparents are not here, right? Okay. So we're going to have Aunt Fran do a little blessing. Would you bring it over to me, to her, please? You know where she's at? She's in the front row with the cart, with the red cart. She's just going to bless it. Just let her put her hands to it. And friend, I know you don't think that I could be doing this, but I made this part up, and I think it's pretty cool. But I think you just give a blessing. If you could bless it, touch it, and bless it, and then bring it back here. Don't let Marie touch it. What I'm hoping is that you guys open up this bottle of wine on your first anniversary and remember this day. Now the glass, this is the glass, and it's beautiful. I feel like you should take it out and show it before you break it. It's absolutely beautiful. And I'm going to put it back in, and then Dom's going to step on it. Once he steps on it, that signifies this is done. We can all go and eat and drink. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. It's almost a shame to break it, but we're going to do it. Before we break it, though, I want to say something that a very dear friend of mine, who I married, him and his wife, that was the first Jewish Catholic wedding that I did, and he said I should read something nice, and he gave me these beautiful words that I will try my best to say in Hebrew. Baruch ato Adonai Elohanu Meluch Ha'ohalum Borei Peri Hagefen. And basically that means praise to God, the creator of the universe. Dom, would you break that glass?
be a warm place to lay when you're feeling cold. And I'll be all in when you wanna fold. When we're dancing life's dance, you'll be the partner I hold. You and me, together growing old. When you're mourning, I'll mourn for your sadness and pain. When you're happy, you'll put a smile on my face. I won't be perfect, but I promise I'll try every day for you.
First off, please welcome the grandmother of the groom, Grandma Frances, escorted by Johnny. Next, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the parents of the groom, Gina and Dominic LaGravenese. Next, please welcome the parents of the bride, Peggy and Dennis Kulik. Next, we're going to welcome the entire wedding party, led by best man Mike Acoin and our matron of honor, Michelle Franklin.
I can hear her heartbeat over 1,000 miles. Yes, sir. Let her hair going with a conscious smile. And when I come to her, that's where I belong. Yeah, I'm running to her like a river song. She gives me love, 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 love. She gives me love, 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 praise love. She gotta find something here when I'm feeling low down. And when I come to her, when the sun will down, take away my trouble, take away my grief, take away my heart like an eye in a thief. You give me love, 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 praise love. She give me love, 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 praise love. Yes, I need her in the daytime. No, I need her. Yes, I need her at night. No, I need her, I need her. I wanna put my arms wide around her. Kiss her, hug her tight. When I return from far away, she gives me something some sweet love and brightens up my day. She makes me righteous, makes me whole. She makes me feel mellow right down into my soul. She gives me love, 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 crazy love. She gives me love, 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 crazy love. She gives me love, 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 crazy love. She gives me love, 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 crazy love.
Oh, it's official. Congratulations. All right, folks, while we have your attention, we're going to invite our lovely bride to have a dance with her father. So keep your attention right there on the dance floor.
Come stop the crying, it'll be alright. Just take my hand and hold it tight. I will protect you all around you. I will be here, don't you cry. Oh, so small, seem so strong. My arms will hold you, keep you safe and warm. With my between us, can't be broken. I will be here, don't you cry. Would you be in my heart? Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. Yes, you will be in my heart. No matter what they say, you'll be here in my heart always. Why can't they understand the way we feel? They just don't trust what they can't explain. I know we're different, but deep inside us, we're not that different at all. Oh, you'll be in my heart. Yes, you'll be in my heart. From this day on, now and forevermore. Oh, you'll be in my heart. No matter what they say, you'll be here in my heart always. Always and always.
Congratulations, very nicely done. And of course, we're going to have our groom have a dance with his mother as well.
The greatest love the world has known. This is the love that I give to you alone. More than the simple words I try to say, I only live to love you more each day. More than your heart will ever know. Arms are hard to hold his love. My life will be up to bed, where we're sleeping, like that we live. Longer than always is a long, long time. But far beyond forever, you'll be mine. I know never lived before, and my heart is very sure. No one else could anymore. More than the the love that I give to you alone. For there are simple words I try to say. I only live to love you all each day. Oh, let your better know my arms long to hold you, so my life will be in your keeping, waking, sleeping like that. Longer than always is a long, long, long time. But for me, I'm forever, you will be mine. I'm there before, and my heart is very sure. What else would you love? We know.
My daughter and my new son, the best thing I can say to you is I wish you the same happiness that I've had in my 44 years of marriage. The best.
Well, I agree. I have 0 years of marriage, but I was asked to write a speech about marriage, so here it is. Rebecca, Dom, I can't even believe it. We're in our late 30s. It snuck up on me somehow. You're finally getting married. Dom, on behalf of the Kulik family, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Look, I mean, we've had a good life, Rebecca. We've, grown up in New York in the house together was incredible. Our parents gave us everything. And we just had a good life as kids, but somehow we're still brother and sister, and we're at each other all the time, right? And somehow that turns into being a teenager, and you're still at each other, but now you're kind of looking out for each other a little bit, maybe trying not to tell mom and dad all the trouble you got into last night, or the night before, but it's a little hard when your father goes out to get the paper in the morning and finds your daughter passed out on the front porch in the middle of the winter. But it's okay. We managed to cover for each other all these years. We managed to graduate high school. That was good. We went off to college. Rebecca went down to Jacksonville and spent almost 10 years in Jacksonville and graduated from college down there. I think worked for almost every single company in the city of Jacksonville. But more importantly, she met her lifelong close friends who were her bridesmaids that you've all seen traipsing around here the last couple of minutes. You guys have been fantastic and great support for my sister, and I appreciate that. And then she moved to Philly, and I said, man, why would you want to go back where you can't wear shorts all the time? It's bizarre to me. I live in the South. I live in Louisiana. It snows up here. But it worked out great because you met Dom, and it couldn't have worked out any better. I couldn't be any happier for the two of you. Dom, you're a good guy, man. I appreciate you being part of the family. I think it's going to be great. The fact that you were able to enter my sister's apartment and wade through the mound of clothing and other things, and came back a second time at least, and you're still here today, I knew you're a keeper right away. So I appreciate it. It's great. I'm happy for you both. Rebecca, after many years of wrecked cars and excessive clothing and many jobs and colleges, we know you're a hoarder, but we found something for you to hoard for the rest of your life. Congratulations to you both. To echo what my dad said, I wish you a healthy, long, happy marriage, and welcome to the family.
So, hello, my name is Mike, and I am Dom's longtime friend. We've been great friends for about 27 years. Been friends since his family moved to Maine from New York. And he was my best man at my wedding. So I was thrilled when he asked me to be his best man. And to be honest with you, I got a little nervous when I started thinking about the speech because I'm not funny. I am horrible at telling stories. So I decided the best way to go about it would just be to talk about Dom and the kind of person that he is. So Dom, believe it or not, underneath that rough exterior of his is a nice, kind, gentle soul. And, you know, whenever I've needed Dom, whenever I had something to discuss, or I just needed a good laugh, Dom was always there for me. He's a good son, an okay brother, a great friend, and I know he's going to be an even better husband to Becca. When I think back on his compassionate side, I was reminded of a time where me, him, and a friend of ours took a trip to Florida, and our friend, who is petrified of flying, me and him were sitting in one row, and Dom was sitting the row in front of us. And the whole flight, our friend was struggling. He was pale, sweaty. You could just tell he was not having a good time. And about 30 minutes into the flight, Dom starts saying things like, "Is the plane supposed to make that sound? God, this is weird. This shouldn't be happening." And that clearly made our friend even more nervous. And a little while after that, Dom looks back and sees our friend who was about to pass out and starts making gagging sounds. Our friend instantly grabs the airsick bag, runs to the bathroom, and is completely embarrassed upon his return. Everybody in all the rows around us are asking if he's okay. Flight attendant brings over a ginger ale and cold compress, and I'm feeling bad for the guy. And I turn and I kind of look at Dom, who's sitting in front of us, and he just turns around with this look of satisfaction on his face. And all he says is, "Holy shit, that was awesome." Needless to say, that friend is not here tonight. But Dom, I love you like a brother. You're my best friend. And I wish nothing but the best for you and Becca. So, cheers.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Michelle, Becca's matron of honor. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the bride in a quick elevator speech. I would say Becca is a princess at heart, the fairy tale type. She loves to shop. She has a type A personality. She loves hosting a party. She's a hoarder. Like her brother mentioned before, she probably has every Christmas card anyone has ever sent her. But in a little bit more detail, I'd say she's a great person. She's an even better friend. She's always thinking of everyone all the time. Even when you think you've thought of every detail, Becca's taken it one step further. She's always thinking about everybody. Okay, so she's an amazing person. That's why she's my best friend. But if I had to tell you something about her that I would warn you about, well, that's easy. That's her driving. She is not a very good driver. Don't let her drive, ever. If everyone is drunk and she's sober, call an Uber. Okay, all jokes aside, every time she's ever parked at our house, there's always a tire in the grass, at least one. Lastly, I would tell you that Becca knows what she wants. So when she first told me that she went on a date with Dom, I didn't think much about it because it was their first date. I knew if she really liked him, there'd be a second date. He probably didn't know that yet, and she wouldn't have never admitted it, but I knew on their second date that she really liked him. She isn't a person to waste her time. When she brought Dom down to Florida, that's where I live, down in Florida. When she brought down to Florida for the first time, I asked him, "Dom, how's Becca's driving?" This was my true test to know if he was a keeper. And he said, "It's horrible. It scares the heck out of me." And so we all laughed, and I looked at her and said, "He's the one. He knows your driving is bad. He tells you how it is, and he's still around to love you for who you are." So, tonight, let's raise our glasses. Cheers with me. Here's to the happy couple, wishing you all the years of happiness and make lots of babies.
Strapping young men to lift those chairs up now.
serene sembrano pesce maratena. Senza capo la matta sera per sua pizza mia, la c'è fitta baccarà, uè compano la guardia giacchetta. C'è una luna mezzo mare, mamma mia, maritare. Figlie mie tutte gare, mamma mia, pensarci tu. Sette figlie con le dise, se vai, se viene, se vuole pesce maratena. Senza capo la fantasia, ti sfrutto tipico, sa mia, la, pesce fette baccarà, uè compara, scopre giaccherà. C'è una luna mezzo mare, sembra una bomba in maratena. Figlia mia, tutti dare, mamma mia, pensarci tu. Sette figlie o piscione, se vai, se viene, sembra la pesce maratena. Senza capo la fantasia di bombe, di luzza mia, la, pesce fette baccarà, uè comparo, me voglio giacchetta, oh compa che mo voglio marità, giovanna voglio prendere che mo voglio marità, giovanna voglio che me voglio marità, giovanna voglio che me voglio marità. Hey!
Our dance floor is still wide open.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. Another word, hold my hand. Another word, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. Another word, please be true. Another word, I love you. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. Another word, please be true. Another word, please be true.